Mm.
Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to the Path to Emotional and Physical Healing. This is part 2 in our series of 3 parts, and I want to welcome you to tonight's show. And I want to introduce to you our guests, Janine Roby, Alison Simquamani, Doc Singh, and Drusilla Morello. And I'm William Michael Forbes. I'm a spiritual medium, a channel, and an intuitive life coach, and I'll be the host for this evening. But I really felt it was important to bring these beautiful souls here for you to have a chance to connect with and hear their stories and the journeys that they're on and the work that they're doing in their lives as a result of the transformations that they've gone through personally through the work that they've been exposed to through our master classes. But again, this is about your personal and emotional healing. Their stories will empower you. Listen to them carefully because they've all got something wonderful that can inspire you and uplift you. So I hope you'll pay close attention. I want to first welcome Janine. Hi, Janine. How are you doing? Thank you so much for coming on with us tonight. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, William. Thank you for having me, and it's really an honor to be here tonight and share my story. I really hope that it could help someone, and I'm really happy to be here.
What started you on your healing journey? Like, where was that starting point for you?
Ooh, William, it's quite a story. I've lost a lot of people. That's the way I used to see it. I lost a lot of people that meant a lot to me from a very young age, and it it happened sort of almost exactly 2 years apart. So would it be my sister, then my best friend, then my grandmother, and as you know, I've also lost my father. Um, and that one was really hard for me. That's when things got sort of out of control for me, where I really couldn't deal with a lot of things. It took me years to just get to a point to just be okay again. And then my mother passed away, but I looked after my mother for quite some time before she passed away. And I think in her death, I've always known that I was spiritual, but I've never, pursued in any way. As a little girl, I always knew I was protected, but it really, really started for me when my mom was diagnosed with COPD, and unfortunately, it's in the family, so it is genetic, and my uncle has it, my mom has it. Unfortunately, I had it too. But after my mom's passing, it was really hard for me to accept, because not only did I have to deal with really physically looking after, seeing how she just disintegrates before my eyes, and just to find out that my younger brother stole all her money, all her savings, as she was on her deathbed. And I also had to deal with that. And a month after that, my doctor phoned me and asked me to come in for the same test, just to see, if I might have it as well. And funny enough, it was on her birthday, which is also really hard for me. And so I was diagnosed with the same illness, or the same disease, let's say disease now. Um, but there's something that I want to mention that I actually forgot to mention. I remember how hopeless I felt, how I felt that there's just no way out. I remember days, this is making me a bit emotional, of just sitting in the bath and screaming my lungs out, because I just didn't know how to get out of this, or how to handle any of this. And so I went to my doctor, and continuously had illnesses as well after she diagnosed me with with COPD. So I went. Sorry, I just want to have a sip of water.
So you were diagnosed with the same thing that your mother was diagnosed with, that was
Yes.
fatal for her. Is that correct?
And that was a month after her passing, and it was on the same day that it was supposed to be my mom's 60th birthday. So that was even extra hard for me to find it out. And They also told me it's on the same stage like cancer. You have 4 stages, and they said to me I'm on gold stage 2, moving on towards gold stage 3, and meaning gold stage 4, which is end of life. And I would need this medication, and I would have to use chronic medication every day, which I did for a very long time. And yes, so that's what they told me. And so I went back to my doctor with a lot of different ailments, but they could never find the actual cause. And I would never forget this day. I went to office and she said to me, you need to go for Reiki. You need to get your chakras in order. And that's my medical doctor, and which is amazing. She was actually the head of the coronavirus.
Wow.
So she was amazing. And because of her, I met this amazing lady called Diane. She also follows you because she's the one that introduced me to you. Diane, which is my Reiki master. I also did my Reiki master's course through her, and then she introduced me through to you, and that's how I found you. So that's basically how my whole journey started, is with my medical doctor telling me I need to get my chakras in line, and me realizing, I am spiritual. Maybe this is really what is going on and what I need to do. And I've tried everything else. I didn't want to take medication to make myself feel better. And I did. I was on sleeping pills after my father's passing for until the time of my mom, to be honest. And after I started my healing journey, I've left all sleeping tablets. I don't need the medication. I don't remember really when last I took a headache tablet even. I just don't.
At what point did you stop needing those? Like, where in your journey was that? Were you in our master classes that time, or was this pre-master class?
That was just before the master classes, William, and that was about 2 months before the master classes. So what happened is I went on holiday to the beach, and the doctors said something was wrong with my heart. It doesn't beat at the same time, so that was another condition added to it.
Mhm.
I don't even remember what they call it. I don't even try to remember because I believe otherwise. So they prescribed heart tablets to me as well, and I just felt terrible. I felt so sick. I had heart palpitations. I just didn't feel well. And I said to myself, I can heal myself because I have been through Reiki. I've been working on my Reiki healing on myself. I've done my course. And the one day I just decided I can do this without the medication. And since I've stopped that, and that was December 2020, and since I've stopped that, um, it's just been amazing. I've been going on my healing process. I haven't needed any emergency pumps, and you even know I had COVID recently, and the least affected was my lungs. That's why the doctors initially never expected it was COVID, and so that was amazing. And so that's been it's 2 years now. Wow, that's amazing, and I haven't need any medication. I went back for a lung test in 2021 because I need to go for one at the beginning of each year. And that test actually showed that my lungs healed themselves. I had stronger lungs. My lung functions were so much better. And it's something that they say cannot happen because they say COPD is a progressive disease and your cells cannot heal themselves. And I proved it wrong with that test. And this year I didn't even bother to go, and my doctor didn't even bother to call me for one because she will always call me and remind me to come for my test. And this year she just didn't bother because she knew that I was doing well.
What was it when you came? I mean, we've known you for almost 2 years now, right around that time. That's when we connected with you the first time. What was it about our program that made a huge difference for you in your transition, in your process? What was the turning point for you?
William, it was really that it was something that was relatable to me. It was what I believed in, but I could never really put it in words. It was always for me a struggle to find a group of people, like which I call my soul family. And I feel it was divine timing. What I really liked about the programs is how easy it is and how effective it is. And and like I said to you before, if you first get there, you can't go back. And and 3 years later, yeah, I still am. So that just proves the point. It's it's just something that I really relate to. And a lot of other people speak, and they've got their opinions, but for me it's really about I don't know, it's the soul family, it's the people, it's you, it's the sessions, the YouTube videos. That's what initially caught me. And just being able to connect and realize, and helping with the meditations. And it was just really capturing for me. And it helped me so much that life like this could exist before I met you, honestly. And that is, it's amazing. It's mind-blowing to think that how I thought life was supposed to be and what I know now. And just to tell other people, you're not confined about what anybody tells you or your circumstances. Or it's just, it's mind-blowing to, and I feel so blessed that I know this now. It's great. Like I said, sometimes I don't have the words to describe it, but like I speak with passion because it means so much, to me. And yes.
What was how would you describe the big contrast between where you were at your lowest point and where you are now? Like, what's the difference between those two?
Oh wow, William. At my lowest point was that time when I almost took my own life with my husband's pistol on a Friday. And I just remember I played a song, and that song always made me feel good. And it's a song, it's Afrikaans song, so that really has to do with our history. And I was thinking of my dad. I'm getting emotional again, like my father and what he went through, and the amazing things he did. And I was thinking, I can't give up. So that was my lowest points. And where I am now is I've manifested so many great things in my life. I wake up every morning and decide how great my day is going to be. And it's got to the point where it's an instant manifestation. For instance, if it's too busy at work, I would manifest that that it would be quieter, and it would just happen in an instant. And sometimes unknowingly, that's why I really try and keep a tight grip on my thoughts, is how I would sometimes affect our Wi-Fi or something, because then load shedding, and then it says, oh goodness, I hope it doesn't affect the Wi-Fi. Next moment our Wi-Fi drops. So and then I'm thinking, oh goodness, that was me. I know it was me. So I'm really trying to be mindful about what I think about these days. So negative thoughts, I don't watch negative things. If any thought pops into my head, how am I? And I'm no, it's just gonna happen. I don't have to worry about how, or even whys, or so. I'm really trying to to do that the whole time, and it takes hard work, but eventually it becomes so natural just to change that thought instantly, and it becomes like just doing a task without really thinking about it. Um, it's just it eventually becomes natural. It's hard work in the beginning, but you get to a stage where it just happens naturally.
What did you say to anybody watching this? What was the big what element of this program made the difference for you? Like, what made this program stand out from any other program you've ever participated in?
Wow, William, a lot of things. The way that I could release everything that I carried with me, and change the thought of I didn't lose anything. I've gained so much. it's like you know how I couldn't have forgiven people um in the past. Now I understand and I can forgive. um it's so many things. It's actually not just one thing. It's so many things about the program that has helped me, even the way I eat and how my body responds to what I eat. Usually I would not eat spinach at all. I would like scrape it out of my plate. Now I would just and the spinach, just like take a bunch and just eat the baby spinach like that. It's just, and my body loves it. And water, and every time I drink water, just like my, and usually I would have never drank water. It was something that I wouldn't have done. I would always say I get water when I drink coffee. Now I can drink about 2, 3 liters, 4 liters a day, or like 6 glasses of this, 46 glasses of this. Um, and it's so many things has changed. It's during the program, and it's almost after a while, it's the one thing is integrated with the other thing, and it just happens when you first open the door. It's like almost it opens up everything, if you understand what I'm trying to
Oh,
say.
yeah. Yeah, just for those of you that are watching, what she's referring to, we have a food component in our program where you actually shift your conventional eating over to like eating living food for just the period of the course. And it literally is life changing when you suddenly just start putting living stuff in your body, food that's alive, not cooked and devitalized. And just to have that experience, it shifts the energy in your body. It's an amazing thing. It's amazing. I'm really grateful, Janine, that you shared the story with us and let people know that. Because when you can be that low, and I've been that low, I think we've all had moments where we've been that low in our lives, and when we can have that one thing that helps us shift it over, it's great, wonderful. Yeah, thank you so much, Janine.
Thank you, William.
Well, I'd like to bring on, if anybody's got any questions, for those of you that are watching, please feel free to ask the questions in the comment section. And you can ask questions of anybody here. I'm sure anybody will be more than happy to answer. I want to bring on Allison. Allison, would you mind coming and joining us here? It's so grateful you could come in. I'm so glad I know this was really last minute, and I really appreciate it. But how are you doing? Like, what's new and exciting? How things changed for you? What's so much has happened in the last year and a half we've known you. I think your microphone is muted, Allison.
Am I better? Okay.
You're back.
I'm on it. Thank you. Thank you so much, Master William. It's just a great honor to be here, to be with my family again, my soul family, which is my chosen family, which really just, the heart expansion is just tremendous. And I can't have more gratitude. I could just send it out to you, if I can say. So thank you.
When you first I forget what the exact circumstance were, but when you first met us, where were you? Where are you now? Like, what's the difference between? I mean, there's so much has changed. I mean, you're getting married now. Tell us about that journey you've been on since we connected.
Oh my God, I could call that dark night of the soul, the dark years of the soul. How much changed in my life? You could say, I was the person nobody wanted to be at that point, huh? Run from Allison, but now everybody like flocks to Allison, come to me. Where was I? I was a hurting person. I went through a lot of travails. I lost 2 people, one to cancer that I had to see him die. Another one, massive heart attack in my arm. I was ostracized from my family. I'm going to try to give like a Reader's Digest version because I could be here for hours. Growing up, I was born and raised Catholic. And I was in a Catholic school, and back in the day, believe it or not, they hit you, and they were vicious. And I was beaten up pretty bad, and I was a tiny little thing. I think a feather might have weighed more than me, but I learned how to run fast. So that was what saved me. And that also, now I know because of the course, but then I didn't know that was the stepping stones of my spirituality. Because of them, their job, I didn't know then, their contract with me was to be mean to me, to awaken me. But I didn't know that then. The priests, the nuns, to everybody that did what they did, they had that soul contract to help me awaken. But it was pretty, yes, yes. And you don't really realize it when you're going through it.
No.
You really don't. You're just like, well, like, why did you hit me? I didn't do anything. I'm this sweet little, like, what are you doing to me? Why are you banning me from the family? And, you know, what am I doing wrong? I'm not doing anything. And you sort of feel like that lost soul, that lost person. And then you seek in the wrong areas. You go to the wrong places, you know. Then I used to looking all the wrong places until I finally realized that, and spirit was coming to me all the time and having me seek out um, to the right people. But believe me, I was put in the wrong hands for quite a while there. And then some great people came to me and gave me messages. And I think it was a point when Jean passed away. I just felt there was no reason why I couldn't connect. I had a lot of anger, and I wanted to know why he did what he did. And everybody was saying, "Oh, come to me, I'll give you a reading." And I was like, "You're not better than me." At that point, I was just like, I was a really tough person. I said, "No, he's going to tell me. I'm going to talk to him." And I did. I started meditating, and I was going within, and I had this one friend, Greg, who was a mentor of mine. He said, "No, you can do it. You don't need me. Go, do it." And I was receiving answers. Um, and it wasn't clear enough, though. I knew there was more, so I seeked more. And then a lot of things were being thrown, life travails to make me awaken more, cursing at God, which I was cursing at myself.
Yeah.
Saying why, like, you know, why me, and then everything opened up on the internet. I started to learn more about the internet. I've gone to a few courses. I used to go to live courses, events in California. They were live. I'd go there. And I remember you had to wait online to see the speaker. It was like this big thing. And I started manifesting at that point. And I said, no, I'm not waiting 5-6 hours, maybe 8 hours to see one person. They'll see me on my terms, one-on-one, when I'm ready. And I started manifesting that. There was that one time, I actually had breakfast the next morning with a woman. She walked in, said, "Hi, how are you?" She goes, "I'll be right there." Sat and had breakfast with me. I didn't wait no 8 hours. And I said, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Look what I just did. I spoke it into existence. I did it.
Yes.
I did it. And I said, I can do this with everything. And I dabbled in some witchcraft at the time too. I started doing that too. And the spirit said, no, don't you manipulate. And they spanked me back. And then I realized love was the only way. Love.
Yes.
The vibration of love. And I went online and I seeked it. And this is actually the Reader's Digest version, so you know.
I get it. No, really.
Yeah. And I took another course. And it wasn't that one-on-one kind of course. It was read the articles, do the work, and you'll awaken. Your third eye will awaken. And if you need to reach out to me, and I'll text with you online. It didn't serve me. Did I learn? I did. I'm not saying I didn't learn anything from it. Everything was that stepping stone to get me where I needed to be.
Yeah.
So I have gratitude for everything. I really do. I mean, I had this one mentor, Blanca. I used to go see her, and she was mentoring me, and she'd give me readings, and she'd hold me, and she says, "You're an angel. You're a light. You have this." And she'd do shamanic healings on me. And then I became a shaman, and that was part of the journey. And then I became like the master when it came to her. said, this is anymore, anymore, anymore. I took more courses online. And then I was meditating. I go, I need more. I want to have more. I just kept saying it. I want more, I want more, I want more. This is not enough. And I kept speaking things, and I want more healing. I felt some darkness still. There was a lot of, it was like I was holding back. There was some pressure on me, and I wasn't released. My heart wasn't open. And I knew that. And I still had anger in me, and I had some lack of forgiveness in certain areas because I didn't have an understanding. There was a lack of understanding. And out of a fluke, I don't know if you remember this, William. I'm not sure if you do. I came across you. I was so persistent to find the right person.
Right.
It's sort of like when I wanted to meet that woman and she came to my breakfast table, right? But I was so persistent. I said, I will find the course that is right for me, exactly what I'm looking for, that is going to complement everything I want, every facet of my education. It's just all going to come together. And it's just going to be a blossom, a beautiful blossoming flower. And I saw you, and I private messaged you, and knew nothing how your course was. I was reluctant because everyone just wanted my money, not a 200 here, 300 here, 1,000 there. I'm tired of just giving my money and not getting the return. And I spoke with you, and your course, I believe it was on a Thursday, and you were starting on a Saturday.
Right.
It was like the timing, and you were just starting the 101. And I was like, oh my gosh, like if the Spirit's not throwing this on my table, it was that sign that you just have to do it. And this same situation happened with my shamanism. When I went for the course, she was starting it that Saturday. And I contacted her. She goes, we're starting tomorrow. If this is not divine.
I remember you telling me this story, that part of it. Yes, it was 2 days before.
And I said, yes. And I said, I'm signing up. And I knew from the past, you don't just start off with 101. So I can make excuses because ego will always jump in and say, well, you're too busy now. Now you have this, now you have that. Oh, it's like it's this whole thing just starts playing in your mind. And you get like, I can't do it. Can't do it. Now I'll do it next time. No. If you remember, I signed up for every single one you had right away.
I remember that. Yeah.
I'm signed up.
Yeah.
I said, I'm done. I'm in.
What surprised you about them when you got into them? What caught you by surprise? What caught you the most in the program? What was like, this is it. This is what I'm looking for.
William, you were actually teaching. You were one-on-one with us. Whether it was 10 or 20 people, it was William and all his students right live online. You talked us through every step of the course. You were there with us. You felt our feelings. You helped us raise our vibrations. You assisted in our growth. How I can explain this was, besides sitting in a classroom, this was our classroom. I was able to speak with you one-on-one. I was able to interrupt you. I was able to just raise my hand. You listened to us. You never gave a time on it. It was not, we have 1 hour, time's up, we're gone. 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever it was. You gave all of your time. And I am forever grateful for you. My gratitude I have for you is 100-fold. And I know this was part of your journey for me to meet you.
Absolutely.
And I have tears of joy coming out from that.
Yeah, me too.
It was just that divine timing. I do. I get tears of joy. I do. I get very emotional. I just hope I don't cry when I get married.
I mean, all of you brought yourselves completely to the program. I mean, you brought your vulnerability, you brought your truth, you brought your passion, you brought your desires. I mean, all of you were just like, wow, we're present. It's important to be present, to have someone be present with you, because if you're not present, they can't be present with you. But you were there, all of you. I mean, I watched it, and just watching each of you flourish and open up and transform. And then you'd tell me your stories afterward, and I'd be like, Wow, it's always a wow. Even from my perspective, watching all of you guys, everybody that's gone through the program over the last few years, just watching you go from you don't know there's guides and angels to now you're talking to your guides and angels. You have a messy body, and all of a sudden your body's feeling better. And now you've got a healthy body. Then wow, you can let go of all these dark, dense, old emotions you've had for decades, and suddenly you find yourself smiling, and you've got a spring in your step, and you're communicating like you've never communicated before. And you're making friends, and you're manifesting stuff. That just juices me up to watch you guys grow. It's like spiritual rocket fuel for me to watch you guys evolve and grow. I'm really grateful that had that impact on you, Allison. It really does give. I mean, anybody who's in the healing arts knows the joy of being able to facilitate a person's own evolution. And I watched each of you. I mean, even Drusilla. I mean, watching all of you, Doc, go through your own version of that transformation. I mean, look at the light in your eyes. I mean, I don't know what you guys find yourself talking to your guides and angels regularly now? Do you guys
Absolutely.
there is not a question that goes unanswered?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, and everybody, we go through. I'm 63 now, and I went through 4/5 of my life with basically one arm tied behind my back, not knowing that I had support around me in these other dimensional beings. 4 years ago, they started speaking to me, and they helped us create these courses, and it was just, well, you see where it is now. And look at these beautiful souls before me that are a product of the work of our guides and our angels and the interaction we have with each other. We are a soul family. And I'm really excited about going out and impacting more people. Where do you see yourself? I know you're going to be getting married in another year. I keep thinking you're married now for some reason, but you keep saying, no, it's not until February. But it feels like you're married now. Tell us a bit about how that all came about. I remember that. I know you remember it too.
Do you remember?
Oh yeah, I'll never forget that.
Well, I have to say, and I'm not bragging, but I am sharing my joy, as I can say. When I started the course and everything, and I learned how to release what wasn't serving me anymore, I just pulled it out, kept pulling it out, get rid of it. Within myself, I had the power. I had the power you taught me. I did not to seek outside anymore, because outside was just more destruction and more pain was out there. But going within was my secret power. And when I learned that, and I learned how to draw things in, the first thing I manifested was a brand new car, paid in full. My beautiful Mercedes. Do you remember that? Do you remember that?
That can be one of the selling features for the course. If you need a new car, take this course, right?
It works. I'm telling you, it totally works. All right. It just, everything just aligns. It's just amazing, and I was with an amazing man, and he had his travails in life, and he had his doubts and all. And I knew we were soulmates. I mean, I spoke with his parents on the other side, and they were like, oh, be patient, be patient. Turned to William, I'm like, oh, my patience is running thin here. I'm like, but I stuck it out, and I started manifesting it by going in and helping him heal. And then I even learned, and that was a lesson too.
Yeah.
Spirit, when you take this course, I was learning how to heal myself, which I was very well. And the next thing Spirit wanted me to learn was how to help heal others.
Yes.
How to help heal others. And that's why I had to go through that travail. So this is why this course was so valuable to me, because it was teaching me step by step how to transform. Then I learned the power to help others. It wasn't just about me anymore, it was everyone else, which is really one anyway, because there's no duality. So helping them, I'm helping me. And then I help him heal through my meditation and sending that love. Lo and behold, he proposed to me. And of course, I said yes. And then the next thing I manifested, short version, he wanted an intimate wedding. Oh, 7 people, 8 people. No, I never had a wedding. I wanted a wedding. I want a wedding. I want a celebration. I want everyone and anyone like, there, and that is it. And we're at 200 people, and now I
Wow.
have the wedding of my dreams coming. Yes,
Congratulations.
and I manifested that. So the course helps with all this because, and how it helped me, I'm speaking for me, was it taught me the power I hold within myself without tools, without anything. I don't need it. I could just go within. I go within and I speak with my spirit guides every single moment. They're my best friends. And it's a beautiful experience. And it's a beautiful experience to be able to help others heal. And people turn to me all the time now and ask for help. Um, and it just comes like breathing. And that's the beautiful thing. And my life has changed dramatically now. I mean, if I want to manifest something, I manifest it. Um, I notice people turn to me for every facet of their life now. They want to be me. That's what I've noticed. They all say, wow, I want to be like you. And I remember saying that to other people. I remember that. Now
I
it's
love
me. And I say to them, no, you want to be the best version of you. You don't want to be me. You want to have the skills I have. You don't want to be me. You want to be you. Because you are beautiful in who you are. And I'm now become a teacher.
Yeah,
That's what I've learned. I'm a teacher too.
you are teachers. All of us are teachers. No,
Mm,
I think for me, as an instructor and as a participant, a big shift is in recognizing that emotions is the stuff of creation. It's that the thing that people don't want to feel is the stuff they need to actually learn how to use to create. Now we live in a society where we're taught to marginalize or get rid of or avoid our pain and our shame and our anger. We're told to shove it away, and yet we actually have to do the exact opposite. We actually have to extend our grace and love to it. And
mm,
I remember each of you in your own way when the first time you had done that, and you go, wow. And it was a wow. I mean, it's always a wow when a person experiences that they can take this emotion they thought was so terrible and bad, and they extend their love to it and experience the power you have to transform your own emotional energy. That's just like for somebody the first time. It's amazing watching how it's affected your health, how it's affected your environment, how it's affected affected the organs in your body and your relationships with it's everything. Emotion is what unites us all, and I love that about this work is the emotional part of it is really powerful. Um, wow, that's an amazing story. And you only got another few more months to go, and wow, that's gonna be a fun wedding. The wedding of your dreams. I love that.
yes. Oh, and I also manifested traveling. I've always said, I want to travel. I said, I want to travel. And not just away for a week. That's not traveling. That's stress. I mean, you can't say you got to leave. That's not traveling. Now I travel. I manifested the traveling. It's by raising my vibration. Went away, as you know, I go away a month here, a month there. Um, it's just bliss. You know what it is? Heaven on earth. You
Yes.
learn how to create your own heaven on earth.
Yeah. Like Master Jesus
That's
says,
what you teach us.
he says the kingdom of God is literally here now. It's not going to be after your body dies. It's literally in the present moment. You go into that deep in the course, like literally living in the present moment. Yeah, that is really true, Allison. It really is here and now. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I really appreciate it. I know you, as you said, you came on last moment, but yeah, let's bring Drusilla forward. Drusilla, how you doing? Thanks again for you two came last minute. I really appreciate that, and thank you for coming and joining us live and tell us a bit about yourself and what brought you to the program and how it's changed your life.
So, well, my journey, I've always been spiritual, I think, my whole life. I've always been reading all the books about being psychic and tarot, anything I could get my hands on that had to do, the Seth books and which I absolutely love. And it's funny. Well, the first thing I remember as a little kid was I was trying to move my clock with my mind. And the odd thing about it as I look back is I had this clock when I was really little. Like I couldn't have been more than 4. How would I know to even do that? There's no reason that I would have known to do that. Anyway, that was the beginning. And through all those years of reading, every book I could get my hand on. I'm trying to think. I guess it was 2011, maybe 2011, 2010, something like that. I was listening to a Channeling Eric show, and it said the word shift, and I never heard it before, and it activated me literally. Like I've never went searching, digging online for anything before like I did when I heard that word, and that changed everything. That's when the whole ascension and 5D came into play into my life, and it kind of inserted itself into everything else because I was in the middle of. It's funny. I really identified with a lot of what Janine said. I lost people when I was young. I had a very large family when I was a kid. Very large family, and my was very close with my mom, and literally like there's 2 of us left, like my brother and I, and I really identified with so much of your story. I would love to talk to you about it, but
Definitely.
the last,
I'd love to.
it's huge. Just one after the other, after the other, after the other. My whole life, and it started. No. Anyway, needless to say, I got sick when I was. I don't know how old I was, but it was like around 2009. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. I had been a gymnast as a kid, up until college, and I wrecked my body. I mean, my constant banging, 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 and so my spine was damaged, and my neck. I've had neck surgery, and I have 2 fake knees at 57. And one of them actually they had to redo, and that one I'm still having a little bit of trouble with. But I was in chronic pain, like horrific chronic pain that literally I was on the couch. I think for 2 years I couldn't do anything. Getting from the couch to the kitchen was a big deal. And I had actually put on Facebook at the time, and I wasn't then or now someone that goes on Facebook and chats away or puts my business out there or anything. And I actually went on there and said, I need a wheelchair. Does anybody know anybody that has a wheelchair? And literally, there was a guy that I hadn't seen in probably 15 years or more at my door with a wheelchair, an electric wheelchair that night, and he wouldn't take a dime for it.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a pretty amazing story. But I'm trying to think how long it took.
How long were you in chronic pain for?
10 years. Wow. And, there were times when it was worse. I had some bouts with something called CRPS. It's chronic regional pain syndrome. Like my foot turned black, and my leg blew up, and crazy stuff. And it felt like literally somebody opened up your leg and poured gasoline in it and lit it on fire. That's how bad it was. Really good.
Yep.
And I think the 102 made a huge difference. The 102 course, the meditations. I mean, the 101 was great, but there's something about the meditations in the 102 course that the releasing part in the 102, I don't remember which exactly meditations made the huge difference. I know all of them did, because the first time I ever really was able to let go in any meditation was yours. So I don't know, something about your voice or the way you say it or whatever.
I'm not alone.
It changed a lot. It changed a lot. I was in also Ancient Awakenings, which I still am. Every Sunday, we do a Sunday phone call, which is great. But this was different. The Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then the Saturday, and also when you started to do the 1 Billion Strong program with bringing up that love feeling,
Yeah.
on Saturday, that made a huge difference in me, because ever since doing that, I can do it on command now. I mean, I've always been able I've always been an upbeat kind of person, but now I can really pull that out,
Yeah.
um, and feel it and
It's
feel
pretty
it.
cool how you can learn to do that. We can actually
Yes.
create emotional energy.
That Saturday morning program, I think it was only a few months, or maybe 6 months you did it that way, but it was pretty amazing. Yeah, I can pull that up on. I love that. That's the feeling. That's what you want all the time. It's bliss, really. And things have been happening to me lately. Uh, I'm definitely a starseed. I have no doubts. And I've been having. I think I'm Arcturian, and I have. I'm hearing the same tones and sounds that I guess we all are. We're all going through this, but um, every time I looked at the star Arcturus, it was like blinking at, like not blinking at me, but it was twinkling, but to the point where it was almost ridiculous, like cartoonish. Like, hey, look over here, hey, look over here. And then I looked at it, and even last night, I realized that the sound I was hearing in my head was coordinated with the blinking. And I was like, wow, this is real cool. And I looked at the star, and I thought in my head, you're going to have to be really obvious. So I can't just talk myself into this. And I started to feel the tingling in my spine, that the energy. I get that. I'm clairsentient and claircognizant.
Yeah.
I hear. It's like the voices that I hear are so far away. I know they're talking to me, but I can't hear what they're saying. But I know and I feel. So it was really funny last night, because I was like, you guys are gonna have to be really obvious, so I can't trick myself. And I started to feel that tingling in my back. And I'm like, okay, that's it. It was pretty funny. But
What's the difference in your pain now? What's the difference for you physically?
it's night and day, really. I mean, I have bad days. Obviously, today I had a rough day. The weather still bothers me. I had my knees replaced, and one of them they had to redo because it collapsed, and they had to they drilled a hole through that bone. What's the name of that bone? The shin bone.
The patella?
That main bone in your leg from your knee to your foot. I forgot.
Oh, yeah, the shin bone. Yep.
The shin bone. Well, they drilled all the way down into it and put a pole in it, and that I haven't been. That's never gone away. And in the last few weeks, every time the weather starts to get, the barometric pressure changes, when I step on it, it feels like it's going to explode.
We should do an exercise in restructuring the consciousness in steel.
That would be great. I mean, I literally yesterday. When was it yesterday? It was shortcuts. I don't remember what we were talking about, but I think I healed my carpal tunnel yesterday while you were doing that. I said it to my husband before. I'm like, my wrists and my hands, they hurt like a little teeny bit, but I can handle it. I mean, they've been killing me.
Yeah.
I mean, bang on your hands 5 hours a day from the time I was 7 till 20. Bang, 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 bang. Sometimes I was doing backflips on marble floors in 4th grade. What kind of damage was I doing? Where were the teachers? Yell, do it again, do it again.
Which edition of Shortcuts was that? Was that this week or last week?
It was this week. It was like yesterday, because I've been having a really hard time with the carpal tunnel lately.
Right.
And
that was with the Divine Collective.
yes, I think it was.
Right.
I just felt the power that I had it, and I was like, it's gone. It's much better. So anyway, all right, I'll stop complaining.
No, it's totally fine because we do have ups and down days. That's part of the process. Is as Allison was saying, those dark things that we go through become the juice for our spiritual evolution.
Absolutely.
You know, they really do. It's if we
And
didn't
for helping others, the things we go through. I was thinking about it as light workers. Like we heal our family. What I don't know what word to use, but like the COPD, right? With Janine, you healed that for your lineage, basically. I had right. You did. I had alcohol in my family. My mother died of alcoholism. She was very active alcoholic, but so
Oh,
were both her parents. So it's in my lineage, and I'm
yeah,
now 33
we
years
should
old.
really connect, Drusilla, because what you have been through and what
It's like
I've
the same
been
thing. I
through.
know. And then with the stones, and I
I was
make
also
great
an alcoholic,
weird,
so
yeah.
I also have know what you, in a way, what you went through. So I would
Yeah.
love to connect with
I'd love
you
to.
to
Yeah,
this.
that'd be great.
I think it wasn't just coincidence that
Yes.
we
There's a
both are
lot of
here.
similarities in our story. A lot of
Yes,
similarities, yeah.
I'm getting goosebumps.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah. So
that,
I was thinking about it recently that um, all the stuff I went through, I feel like I went through 5 lives in the first 50 years. I mean, 1994, I lost everything. I was taking care of my grandmother. She was living with me, and I was caring for her, just like you did
Oh,
for your mom, right?
I was also
She
carrying
was like
after
my
my
best friend.
grandmother.
My grandmother, she was like my buddy. And my grandmother passed. I got divorced. We had to sell the house, which was awesome, and I loved the house. And I lost my job at the same time. That's right. Yeah, I lost everything that year. Like
Wow.
I don't know how I did it, but I did it. I got through it, and I was thinking about it. I'm like, all of these things, like crazy. And now my ex-husband is like my brother now. It's hysterical. I mean, we hated each other, and he used to follow my present husband around when we were just dating and stuff like that way back. And now, I mean, he stayed in our den for 2.5 years. He got injured at work, and talk about forgiveness. I don't know how it happened. It just happened. You know,
I think you touched on it
Right?
a second ago, Drusilla, when you talked about you can heal generational conditions, inherited conditions, because you
Yeah,
can inherit 3 to 5 generations of thoughts and emotions from family members. And then the minute you put yourself in a position where you learn how to access those emotions and
right.
release them from the body, you can literally undo generations of addiction, depression,
Yeah.
anxiety. We've all
But you
seen
know
that.
what's crazy with all of that stuff? Still having trouble with the smoking.
Yeah.
It's insane. It makes no sense. You know, I have no desire for a drink. Like it never enters my mind, and I can't quit smoking. I mean, I can't quit smoking. I keep saying I can't, and then an hour from now, I'll sit there and go, I am nothing. I need nothing. I'm just consciousness. I need nothing. You know what I mean? So I guess it's up and down until I actually do it. I will quit at some point, hopefully before Ascension.
Well, it's funny that for me, I smoked for 30 years. I quit on an epiphany, realizing that my desire for a cigarette was suppressing an expression I had.
Right,
In other words, the urge was for something to emerge.
right.
That was a huge change. Whenever I got the urge, I started paying attention to that. But whenever I got the urge for a cigarette, it was like, what's trying to emerge? And then one day the words poetry,
Right.
and I started writing.
I remember you saying that.
And in a couple of months, I'd stopped smoking after a 30-year 2-pack-a-day habit. So
Right.
look there, find out what is that.
Yeah,
What
that's my last biggie. But also another thing, I was always outgoing as a kid. I mean, I had to be the center of attention. I mean, it was more of in a fun way than an ego way
Yeah.
kind of thing. But after I got sick, like everybody pulled away. Like I had fibro, and it was just like people were like, "Eh." They didn't want to have anything to do with anybody that was sick. You know, it's a pain in the neck when you're sick.
Yeah.
So I ended up going through that feeling of being totally vulnerable. You know, I mean, I have my husband is amazing, but you know, he works, and it's kind of scary to be on your, you know, alone and sick.
I
Um,
understand.
but now that I've gotten past it for the most part, I'm used to being alone now, and now I like being alone. I like you know what I'm saying? I went from like one to the other. Now I'd rather be home than go anywhere. I have no desire to go out. You know, I don't know. It's very bizarre. I enjoy my own company and the company of my dogs, and they don't bring my vibration down like the
No,
trap.
they don't. Dog nails. If you've ever read Dr. David Hawkins' book on the vibrational frequencies, he says that dogs' tails wag at a frequency of 500, which is
Yes,
love. They actually emanate love with their tails.
yes,
Quite
they are
fascinating.
such a gift. They are
Yeah.
such a gift. So,
Wow.
anyway, but I I became happy being alone and being in my own company from being sick because I had no choice. And now I'm fine. I'm happy.
Well, we're
You
going
know?
to make sure that you and Janine connect.
Oh
I,
yeah,
I
definitely.
think
We're
there's
definitely
a
gonna
real synthesis that's going to happen there that's going to be mind blowing.
yes,
I think
yes.
definitely.
Very cool. Okay.
Thanks,
I'll get
Priscilla.
your number from William, or you get my number from
Yeah,
him.
I'll send you each other's email tonight once we
Terrific.
finish our live event. Hi, Jen.
Okay,
Hi, everybody out there.
great.
Hi, Doc. Thanks again. I know you're probably very late where you are. You're in the UK, right? And thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. Tell us a bit about yourself and what you're doing now, and how you connect with us, and what you've experienced with the courses that changed your life in any way, shape, or form.
Well, firstly, thank you for inviting me, William. It's always a pleasure to speak to you, and delightful to meet all of the other participants. Um, so, I mean, basically, the courses were, as with all of the other speakers, were a catalyst and a point of flexion in my, not just my life, that sounds a bit too grandiose, but just my way of thinking and being and doing. So it was part of my journey from a very left-brained, logical, mathematical, statistical person who's a doctor as well at that time, into somebody who's more open and more understanding of things that have been going on with me personally and other people around me, but also the world in general. So it's very much a point of inflection in my life. It's like life 2.0. It's not to sound too grandiose, but it really has shifted me in ways I never would have imagined it would have happened.
Wow. Where do you see yourself in 5 years as a result of what's happened?
Where do I see myself in 5 years?
Yeah.
Well, just continuing being happy, really. That's the most important thing. That's the really, seriously, that's the most important thing. Just being happy and just being content with what I see around me, my understanding, my development. And I guess I'm sure if anybody has children out there, you just know that part of your happiness is seeing your kids being settled and grounded.
Yeah.
And personally, for me, one of the most beautiful things is to see the evolution of our children. I mean, they're all very, very, very left-brain, logical, maths, medicine, physics, that sort of type of kids. But they also have a greater awareness of the universe and things like, believe it or not, manifestation, projecting, a greater understanding of energy, which, frankly, with the education that I had, I'm sure many people had, we weren't open to. But yet these kids have got a far more better understanding of how things happen. And it's just great. And the nice thing is, it's not just them, it's all their friends. So, when you talk about stuff, and I'm meaning this, medical students are telling me about seeing number synchronicities, right? You know, 1111 and 2222, and then they're asking me, and it's really amazing to see this coming through in this next generation, and they're so accepting of these things. And it's just delightful. It's just delightful to see this happening, not just obviously with myself, but also with the next generation and the next generation.
Yeah, I think that's what we all hope for too, is that the younger generation, and Janine's that part of that younger generation, and we got Emma and a few other students that can really spearhead a lot of this wisdom and knowledge to download it. Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of really amazing things happen, Doc.
But I think it's perhaps again a point of reflection for all of us that I mean, William, I hope you don't mind me saying, but I think I see you as being in the first wave, and there are many other waves coming behind us. And I think I mentioned this to you before. The way in which we describe this message needs to shift, because for the people at the leading edge of understanding, it's just, yeah, we get it, we understand it. But for people who are a little bit behind the curve, or the great unwashed, as some people have said, we need to shift that message to a way that they can understand it. And again, you might remember this, William, but the people who knew they had to wear seatbelts just did it. The people who sort of got it with a bit of education, they just got it. And then the people who were more fearful of being fined for not wearing a seatbelt, they had to have a different way of getting that message across. And it's the same thing with this greater understanding of what's happening around us, where I think each of us within our own journey, but leave alone within the successive waves, for want of a better word, we just need to be more aware of how we can repackage the message to get it out there. I think that's the one thing for me which has been so lovely.
I think that's a great insight, Doc. And I don't mind being the first wave, because, you know, Shakespeare has a wonderful line in one of his poems that says, "In sequent toil all forwards do contend," which reminds me of like the first wave that hits the shore, it rolls back in, and it becomes a new wave, and then a new wave. But I know we reincarnate. I know I'll be coming back in another lifetime.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Just to give you one little vignette, my niece, like two of my nieces, have had babies recently. And I mean, you know, the standard thing, you know, your niece, babies, everyone does the sort of usual sort of uncle, auntie thing, or granduncle, grand-auntie thing. But what I said to them was, I said, you know, we might see this as a child, you might see this as your child, but actually it's a soul that's coming into your house, that's coming through you. And if you use that as a different way of looking at it, you have perhaps a different attitude to this child. And what was really beautiful was how all the kids in that generation, they just got it. They just understood it. They just went, right. And it was just so fabulous that they could see it differently. And yeah, it's just nice. It's really nice.
That's really cool what you just did there, Doc. You snapped your fingers and the sound completely changed.
I have a feeling it's something to do with this microphone.
Wow. I'm so grateful, Doc and Jean and Gisela and Allison. And I also want to thank Con, who's been behind the scenes coordinating and organizing the video. Con, thank you so much for helping us with this. And again, I've never made it about the money or trying to get people in the courses. To me, it's about getting the wisdom and the knowledge of what ascension is, what our guides, and you have guides and angels with you. We all do, that you don't have to be alone, that you can transcend any emotional state or condition you find yourself in with the right information and knowledge. And hopefully, if you've heard the stories of everybody here properly, you understand that that's true. And again, all of you, so much gratitude for you guys coming out and taking the time to do this with me. And I hope anybody who's watching, I hope you'll join us for part 3 tomorrow night at the same time, 7 p.m. Also, if you want to know more about the courses and classes, please go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com, and you can sign up for the courses there. The course is only $199 for a 3-week program. There's up 20 live events over a 3-week period. And you will learn a lot, you'll experience a lot, and your life will completely change. I want to invite you to come and sign up for this weekend, which our 101 Masterclass begins this Saturday. So please come and do that. This is more than just a course for learning. This is a course for transformation, ascension, connecting to your guides and angels, and literally recreating your life into a brand new expression that matches who you really want to be. I want to say thank you to everybody for coming out, and have yourselves a wonderful and joyful evening. And thank you everybody for coming in.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Thank you. Bye, guys.